I'll tell you when we're gonna start. I'll cut some of this off. Hold on, it's gonna come.
Hey.
What up, y'all? This your girl, Tiffany Two-Tone Wiley, baby.
And you already know who this is. The hostess that always does. The absolute mostest. Miss Iconic. Hey,
Yo, Miss Iconic. What up, girl?
Girl.
Listen, so this segment, this episode is solely on you. We want the world to know who Crystal Alexis.
We gonna have a two-tone talk about Lil on me.
Yeah, Miss Iconic.
Okay, get to know Miss Iconic.
She's iconic.
Let's go. What you got for me?
How
I'm ready.
ironic.
Hey,
Okay, the first thing is, Miss Iconic is, who is the Crystal Alexis? Who is Miss Iconic?
I don't know. Some people say I'm like, it depends. I'm on both ends of the spectrum,
Okay.
but I'm a creative. I love art and music. I love dance. I love modeling. My parents put me in pageants when I was 1 year old. At the age of 21 months old, which is just shy of my second birthday, I won huge trophy.
So would you have said you was 1.5?
Yeah.
Instead of
1.5.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went on to do modeling. Like, modeling is my heart and my love. Yes, I'm known as a makeup artist because I'm international, makeup artist, but modeling is my first love.
Okay.
I represent self-love and self-expression, body positivity, and you just loving and living in your truth and who you are.
I love that, Miss Iconic. So you have vitiligo.
I do.
And so how long have you been living with vitiligo?
I've been living with enjoying life with vitiligo for
enjoying life
6
with vitiligo.
years.
Okay.
Just now 6 years.
So when did you, how did they know you had vitiligo? Like, how did you get diagnosed?
Well, I had a spot that appeared up on right by my lip.
And it's no longer there?
I've started repigmenting, apparently. I went to the dermatologist. They said, hey, we're gonna process of elimination, go ahead and give you a prognosis. I'm like, okay, cool. So they asked me a couple questions, yes, no. Asked if I had any white patches in my vaginal area or my buttocks. I said no. Then I turned around and said, yeah, come check me out.
Okay.
She checked me out and she was like, yeah, that's it. You can take our word for it that you have vitiligo, or you can pay a bunch of money and we can do testing and prove to you that you have vitiligo. So
they already knew you had it. It was just up to you to believe them.
True.
Okay. Wow.
True.
So going through vitiligo or enjoying life with vitiligo, did you get bullied or anything? Did you have any obstacles that came your way with vitiligo?
Not with vitiligo. My heart goes out to all the people that consider themselves suffering with vitiligo. I've never had to suffer with vitiligo. I've always said I live with vitiligo because some people, they get severely depressed or suicidal or things like that. I've just never had that.
Okay.
So, I get stares and people that ask me, what's wrong with your skin? At the worst. But
what do you say?
No. I'd be like, nothing's wrong with my skin.
Do you educate people and tell them that you have vitiligo?
It depends on how they come at me, because sometimes I'll be a nice, nasty mess. And I will say just that. Nothing is wrong with my skin. Why do you ask?
Oh, okay. So you got people still...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But other times I'll be like, what are you referring to?
Okay.
And they'll say, oh, well, what is that?
And then that's when
And then I will enlighten them about my condition.
All right. So I noticed that not only you said earlier that you've been modeling since you were 21 months, or 2 years old, one of the two, or you was in pageants. So you've pursued that. You've continued your journey through modeling.
I did. I had rough patches. I stopped. I got discouraged. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars traveling to different states, different countries, for auditions and things like that, only to not get selected. So it's true what they say when they say, you know, you can have a million no's, but it only takes one yes. And my one yes was God telling me yes. It was not to modeling. It was not to anything in particular, but it was to yes to his will. So that to me was anything that I do in his name and give him the glory for, that he's going to make sure that I people know my name and that I am successful in that arena. So
what type of model do you consider yourself as?
I am absolutely a professional and international plus size model.
Oh, okay. So published. Okay, we'll touch that in a second. So you also do photography, photos, like modeling, professional modeling. So you're a nudist?
I am a self-proclaimed nudist, yes.
How did you get the confidence to even do that? Because, like, before you start, like, society always says if you're not this one particular size, or if you don't have the right face or anything, the right height, then you're not that image that they're, like, even if you look at, like, Barbie, right? They show, like, the smaller physique people, and that's what our mind is instantly drawn to.
Of course.
So when you see a plus size model who's a nudist, I'm sure people are like, oh my gosh.
People clench when they see me with short shorts
right?
or a midriff. So on top of me being a fat black woman, I also have this skin condition, and it's like people are just so intrigued. So just as I had to take kind of a moment or a beat and figure out what was going on with myself, I allow other people, I gift other people that moment to figure out. So when people stare at me now, I don't be like, what the hell are you looking at? Shit. I don't do that no more. I used to, but not no more, because I'm like, I understand that I am something and someone that is out of the norm. And when things are outside of your norm, it's a little bit more difficult for you to understand them.
I agree.
So I give people that moment to kind of wrap their brain around me being a fat black vitiligo, and I let them process that, and then after I give them about 7 seconds, you know,
that's why you give them
they gotta quit staring at me.
You only give them 7 seconds.
Yeah, no, because then I'll be like, hey,
okay, that's what's up. Oh, sorry.
No.
Continue. No. Yeah, so your confidence is totally contagious. I've seen that you've been issued in several magazines, calendars as well. Is there anything that you would like to tell, like, the world about your success? I mean, I believe that you're successful. It's okay to be cocky and confident. I believe that there's a thing as long as you have humility and you're humble. So first of all, congratulations, because I know that I just received my issue of Queen magazine, which you featured on there, and it's super amazing because this is the October edition, correct?
Yeah.
So tell us about this. Like, how did you even get into this magazine?
Well, I had been trying to get in this magazine since August, I would say, 2013.
Okay.
I was unsuccessful, and so I linked up with a photographer from New York. And he came down, he did a photo tour.
Okay.
Came down to Tampa, which is about 2 hours outside of my city. And I shot with him, and he did a gorgeous spread. And the editor, or the CEO and founder of Queen Size Magazine, reached out to him and said, hey, you know, she actually told me herself. I read a message that she wrote, like, saying, like, I was intrigued by her and I wanted to know more about her.
That's outstanding.
And so then he wrote me and was like, hey, I'm working on you a cover, like this. Send me your information. I send it probably that same day, within maybe 8 hours. I was traveling, I was on the road, I was working. I had left my computer at home, so I had to type up my bio and all my information on my phone. Send it over. I'm like, listen, it's horrible, because I'm a writer.
Okay.
I write poetry and spoken word pieces, things like that. And I just thought it was the most horrible thing because I didn't have time to do any editing or modifications.
Okay.
And I sent it. I was like, listen, this is it. I'm sorry. I'm on the road. I'm drained. I'm exhausted. Just drove 8 hours on no sleep. I got to work in the morning in a couple hours. This is all I got.
Okay.
He was like, it's perfect. I sent it to the editor. they don't want to alter it at all. They're going to run it just like it is.
Wow. So they made no corrections.
They made no corrections.
That's amazing, man.
What I sent them, and I have a spread as well as a cover in a magazine that I've been trying to get a hold to for 6 years.
So was this your first magazine you've ever been featured in?
It wasn't.
So what makes the magazine that you've been featured in for the October 2019 edition compared to the others?
Compared to the others, okay, well.
And I think you brought some today. So
yes,
let me go ahead and show our viewers. So this is another one.
That was my very first cover, and this cover was shot in 2013, I believe. Oh my God, anybody who's ever watched America's Next Top Model or anything like that knows who Derek Blanks is. Derek Blanks is a world-renowned photographer. He is better known as the Alter Ego King because he shoots any celebrity you can name. He has shot.
That's
and
awesome.
He does he's well known for his alter ego images. I shot that in Atlanta. It was just an amazing experience for me. It was out of the blue. I had been grinding to try to get this cover as well. I wouldn't say that one cover or one publishing is better than the other because they both have their own individual pieces of my heart. You know, that was shot by the Derek Blanks.
That's dope.
Major celeb shooter.
So you have another magazine. Goodness gracious, woman.
Yeah.
And this one was based out of where?
So
and
this
one,
that's me. Only on this side though.
This
is some other white girl that I don't know.
So you say some other as in you're also a white girl. Okay. Keep going.
This was reader art that was published in Mayan magazine. If anybody follows like gamers or manga or Japanese pop culture, you're familiar with Mayan magazine. They have over 1 million followers, I believe, and it's highly circulated over in the United Kingdom. So I have publications not only in the US but in the United Kingdom as well.
And so not only do you have like all of this other stuff, you on a calendar.
Yeah, I have a couple calendars.
So I know one of the calendars tell another story of you, another side of you, something that I'm not sure if everybody in the world knows, right? So I know that because I've read on this. And it's pretty much about domestic violence. And I know this you hold very near and dear. So I wanted to save this question for the end.
Yeah.
Then I know it's real. If people respond to this, then I know they really listen to what you had to say, right? Okay, so domestic violence. So are you a survivor of domestic violence?
I am.
Can you tell us like a brief story of like what happened? Or how, just tell us about it.
I was 17 years old, you know. I wasn't never really with the popular group. I talked to everybody. I didn't discriminate. You know, handicap, SOD, whatever.
What's SLD?
Slow learning disability. They have a certain class that they go to at our school. So, I was 17 years old. Got with the jock of the school, handsome. Like at the time, he was a dope boy. That was in, you know, dating popular dope boys or whatever. And you know, the first year was cool. The second and third and fourth year, I got my ass whopped in that relationship.
What you mean you got your ass whopped? What's that mean?
It means he beat me for 3 years.
He beat you. What was there a trigger that started this domestic violence?
Well, I didn't know that at the time he was a cocaine user because at the age of 17, I had no experience with anybody that used drugs, and he would come home for no reason and pick fights with me, and you know, he would beat me and knock 2-3 teeth through my lips. Like, it was plenty of times I had holes in my lips, black and blue eyes, in and out of the hospital, you know, back injuries, head injuries, super possessive, you know. I had 2 jobs, and he would call my job just to make sure I'm there, or tell me I'm lying about going to work. There was one day he took my car, I needed to go somewhere, And he came back, and I was like, where's my car? And he's like, oh, it's in a ditch. And I'm like,
are you serious?
Yeah.
And he drove your car to the ditch?
He wrecked my car and said somebody hit him and ran. And it was bad. And, you know, there were times that, like I said, he would beat me, and then I would have to give him oral sex or have
After
sex.
He beat you?
Yeah. Have sex with him with a bloody lip, black and blue eyes. And it got to the point where I was like, this is not good for me. And his sisters started telling me, like, Crystal, if you don't leave, he's going to kill you. And that kind of penetrated something in my soul. And I'm like, wow, you know, I'm going to die an early death, you know, trying to be like a ride or die and love somebody that was like hurting me. Not just physically, but it was verbal abuse. It was physical abuse. There were days I would come home and I didn't want to have sex. I was tired from working 2 jobs. And he said, why don't you want to have sex with me? What you been doing? And I said, I haven't been doing anything. I've been at work. You know, I'm tired. I'm sweaty. I'm really exhausted. Plus, I just cooked for him, you know. And he's like, I don't believe you. You've been fucking some nigga. Like, drop your pants. Let me smell you.
No way.
And I'm like, I don't want you to smell me. My cycle is on. And he's like, I don't believe you. Like, let me see. And I'm like, well, I don't have on a pad. I have on a tampon. What do you want me to do? Pull out my tampon and show you? And he said, yeah. And so I'm like, okay, let me go to the bathroom. I'll be back. He said, no. Right now, drop your pants and let me smell you. So I said, okay. And I did it because it wasn't that I was scared of him, because I fought many fights in my life. So I was not scared of a fight. And at that point, I was just convinced that he was going to kill me. So I was just waiting to die. I knew that I would die in that relationship.
Oh, my God.
But he pulled my pants down and he snatched my tampon out.
He snatched your tampon out?
Yeah, he wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, my gosh.
And he took it out and he was like, okay. And then we ended up fighting. I'm pretty sure that day. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, the point where I came to, like, I was done. I was in the house one day. I don't know. I was cooking or cleaning or something, and he was like, "Hey, come here. Let me holler at you. Come ride with me for a minute." And I'm like, "I don't want to ride with you nowhere." And he's like, "No, I said come ride with me for a minute. Let me holler at you." And I'm like, "I don't want to." He's like, "You're going to." I said, "How you gonna make me?" He picked me up around my legs, around the back of my knees, and threw me over his shoulder and carried me out to the car and threw me in the car and was like, "I told you I need to talk to you. Come ride with me for a minute." And he took me to a swamp in the woods. And he had a Glock 44 and it was loaded, and he cocked it. Oof. And he put it up to my neck and he said, "Do you love me?" And I was like, I mean, what's going on? Matter of fact, he didn't put it up to me. He asked me, do you love me? And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is this about? Like, who cares if I love you or not? It's not important. And he was like, you need to tell me you love me now. And it's very important that you tell me now. And I'm like, okay, you interrupted my whole day for this bullshit. And then now you're going to come out here and ask me, you brought me out here for what? And so he pulled the gun, he cocked it, and he put it up to my neck and told me, tell me now, are you going to tell me that you love me? And I'm like, I froze. I didn't say anything. And he started crying. And I'm like, when he started crying, I knew that he was going to shoot me. Because at that point, I was dealing with a drug head. I was dealing with an alcoholic. I was dealing with somebody who was just obsessive, compulsive, possessive, very irate, and just I did not know what he was going to do. But when he started crying, I'm like, that scared me. And I said, okay, just please don't shoot me. I love you. Just don't shoot me. And he was like, you do know that if I kill your ass right now and throw you in this swamp, nobody will ever find you after the gators get done with you.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, but you know you don't have to do this. And he said, yeah, I know. But I just want to know if you love me or not before I do it. And I said, I love you. What else do you want to know? Just don't shoot me. You don't have to do this. And so he pulled the gun on himself. And I was like, I was going through so much emotions at that time. Because I felt like he knew, like, okay, I was kind of expecting him to shoot me. And that didn't bother me as much as if he would have shot himself, because I would have blamed myself.
Yeah.
And said it was my fault. And I wouldn't have been able to deal with that. So he turned the gun on himself and put it to his temple.
Did he kill himself?
He didn't. He sat there, he cried. I don't remember what else he said. I was just kind of out of it. But then he took me back.
And did you stay with him after that?
I think it took me a couple days, and I ended up leaving. After that, even, we had an episode, and he ended up beating me again after we had broken up. Like, it was the worst. It was a hell on earth that I thought I would never escape. I hid it from everybody I knew and loved because I was just really ashamed. I didn't want to hear the questions, why did you stay? Why didn't you leave? Oh, you must have loved it. Or if it was that bad, why did it take so long for you to get up and go? It was just, I had developed such a dependence on him. I think it's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay.
Yeah, where you actually end up loving your abuser more after they abuse you, because for some reason you feel sorry for them.
Wow.
And you just feel for them. You empathize with them because they have issues you don't.
Wow.
And so you begin to, just really, really care for that person in a way that nobody can understand unless they're in the situation. And I stayed for quite a while, but that was it for me. I just knew I was dead. I went to church one day, and a prophet called me up when I was at the altar praying, and he said, you think that you're going to die prematurely, and God wants you to know that you're not going anywhere.
Wow.
He has so much planned for your life.
Wow. I know you was like, wow.
Yeah, I was like, nobody knew. Yeah.
And so when did you finally start speaking up?
2015, I did.
So how many years was that past?
Well, so that was 2001 when I started with him for 4 years. So you're talking about maybe 2005.
And you spoke 10 years later
10 years later, it took me.
So there's people out here that are listening that will not admit this. Because it's hard. Obviously, it took you 10 years to even speak on it. So what is it that you would tell them? Like, what can you say? Because you know this. Like, people who have not been through this, like myself, I'm like, just get out. But of course, it's not that easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy. So what advice could you give our listeners, especially those who are going through something similar to your situation?
Anybody that's going through anything like this, similar to this, comparable to this, I want you to know that it's not your fault. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Your truth is your truth. That's your reality. and it doesn't matter if other people view it different. You're living in it, or you have lived through it. So that's your truth. That's your reality. Don't allow people to sway what you know is true, because I've had people that say, oh no, he was way too nice and he took care of you good. There's no way he could have did that to you. And for somebody to finally get the guts to speak up about something after so long, and for the people closest to you to say, nah, there's no way he did that to you.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
way too good to you. Never be afraid to speak up, but don't do things on other people's terms either. I wanted to speak up for a really long time, and I couldn't because of the shame. I was very shamed. Felt like it was my fault. I felt like I could have left. I should have left. And I just didn't want to deal with the judgment. So if you're out there and you're going through something like this, or you know somebody, first of all, you have to realize that there is a problem. I didn't realize that there was a problem. I thought, he really cares about me because he's beating me about stuff. I thought that he loved me because he was concerned about everything that I was doing, and that's just not love. So again, don't force anybody to do anything, because at the end of the day, it's about choices. And when you've gone through a situation like that, the last thing you want is somebody telling you what to do, because you've been living through that your whole life. So you want to give people an option and a choice. You don't want to try to make anybody go to counseling or to a center, but there is help out there. There are centers. There are people that dedicate their lives, and it's their mission to help people that women and children and even men experience domestic abuse and sexual abuse. So don't feel pressured to do anything that you're not feeling, and it's not your fault. And you have nothing to be ashamed of.
So since then, you've started your own business?
Yeah. So
no matter what life situations were thrown your way, you still were able to press forward.
Correct.
And so we both have our shirts on,
Iconic Beauty,
Iconic
LLC.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you tell us a little about it?
So Iconic Beauty is a global enterprise that I developed, and what we do is we travel around the world and we assist professional fitness athletes and professional fitness models with their preparation for competition and to get on stage. So what that consists of is sometimes we do their tanning on the side, but specifically Iconic Beauty handles the makeup and hair for professional fitness athletes around the world.
And how long have you been doing this for?
7 years. And this is my only thank you. My only job for the past 7 years.
What a blessing. Wow. I've been working at my job for 8 years, and it's every day. So that's a congratulations, Miss Iconic. Thank you for being very transparent for our listeners and viewers today, because it takes a lot of courage to tell your story. And so, y'all, this is just, the two-tone talk. We want you guys to get to know who we are and what we're about, because we're everyday people just like y'all going through some stuff.
Yeah, and don't be telling nobody I'm crying and stuff.
You are sensitive today, girl.
Girl, I got a reputation to uphold, and I'm a thug a little bit. So
that wasn't a thug moment. It was very vulnerable. So we appreciate your transparency, Miss Iconic.
I don't know so many people who ain't thugs that could have a gun pointed to their jugular, but
Well, yeah, that's true.
Nonetheless.
In the swamp. But listen up, y'all. Y'all heard it. This is Real Soul Speak, y'all. And it's your girl, Tiffany Two-Tone Wiley, baby.
And y'all already know it's the hostess that always does the absolute most.
Just not today, y'all. Just not today.
I'm emotional today.
Oh, yes, that's what's up. We appreciate you, girl. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in.